In the shadows of Texas, the ground trembles. Not from earthquakes, but from men drilling deep for fortune. The oil is back. And so is the fight. The screen fades in from black. A single oil rig stands tall against a blood-red sunset. The camera slowly pulls closer, gears grinding, pistons pumping, and the metallic groan of machinery echoing into the wide, empty desert. Dust swirls in the air as the rig drills into the earth, each pound of metal hitting with a sound like a heartbeat, steady, powerful, unstoppable. The voiceover begins, low and heavy, like a whisper carried on the wind. They say oil is life, but for some, it's the beginning of the end. The scene cuts to a wide shot of endless pipelines stretching across barren land. The pipes gleam under the fading sun, carrying the black liquid that fuels cities, wars, and fortunes. The sound of flowing oil rushes like a river. Quick flashes appear, an oil barrel tipped over, black liquid spilling across the dirt, mixing with mud. The music starts slow, a single drum beat echoing like footsteps in a dark hallway. The voice continues. Every drop brings power. Every drop brings greed. Every drop brings danger. The visuals shift to slow-motion close-ups, hands clutching contracts, maps being slammed onto tables, a drill bit spinning fast, sparks flying as metal grinds against stone. No faces are shown, only shadows, outlines, silhouettes. The faceless imagery makes the story feel larger, like it could be anyone's fight, anyone's loss. Thunder rolls in the distance. The desert sky darkens. The wind howls, bending dry. Grass and rattling signs marked no trespassing. A single crow caws, flying over the oil fields. The music grows heavier, more threatening, with strings joining the steady beat, raising tension. The voice grows sharper, more urgent. The oil never sleeps, and neither do the men who chase it. The screen flashes to black, a sudden silence. Then, in quick succession, a close-up of black boots stomping through mud, a steel door slamming shut. An oil barrel exploding under pressure. Each shot lasts only a second, leaving the viewer breathless. The voice returns, calm but foreboding. Season 2 begins where the blood was left on the dirt, and the fight for land has only just begun. The final moment of this section cuts back to the oil rig. Now seen at night, lights flickering as it pumps endlessly into the darkness. The camera zooms closer and closer to the spinning drill until it fills the screen. Blurring into black, the sound of a hammer striking metal echoes one last time before silence. Fade to black. Asterisk. The screen flickers to life with the sound of heavy rain striking metal roofs. Water drips down onto cracked maps spread across a table. Ink runs, blurring the lines that once marked ownership and boundaries. A single hand rough, dirt stain slams a red stamp onto the map. Sold. The echo of the stamp rolls like thunder, filling the silence. A deep voice cuts through. Every acre has a price, and every family has a breaking point. The camera drifts over papers stacked, high contracts, deeds, checks, each one promising wealth, each one hiding betrayal. A pen scratches across the paper, signing away land that has been in families for generations. No faces are shown. Only shadows, only outlines, the greedy hand signing, the trembling hand losing. The music creeps in. Low strings with a sharp violin note cutting like a blade. The screen flashes to an oil pump grinding louder, faster, until the sound blends with the storm outside. The camera shifts, boots kicking open a dusty barn door, revealing barrels of oil stacked like ammunition. A lantern swings from the ceiling, casting long shadows that twist like snakes. The voice rises. Power is never given. It is taken, piece by piece, deal by deal, lie by lie. Suddenly, the montage accelerates. Quick cuts flash across the screen, a phone slamming down on its receiver. A briefcase snapping shut with a metallic click. Two silhouettes arguing. In the distance, one pointing a finger, the other slamming a fist onto a table. A gun being loaded, the cylinder spinning before locking into place. The pace quickens. The storm outside rages harder. Lightning strikes across a field of oil rigs, casting them in blinding white light before darkness swallows them again. The voice, colder now, almost whispering, "What begins at the table? always ends in the dirt. The music grows louder, more relentless. The visuals show betrayal without faces, a wedding ring dropped into a glass of whiskey, a set of keys tossed onto a desk, a family photo burning in slow motion, the flames curling the edges until the smiles turn to ash. The camera then cuts to land vast, open Texas plains. But this time, the land is scarred. Dig sites dot the horizon. Heavy trucks roll in like invading armies. The ground shakes with their weight. The sound of machinery blends with the storm, creating chaos. The voice deepens. Greed tears through the soil. Greed tears through the bloodline, and once it begins, nothing can stop it. A sudden silence hits. The storm cuts. The machinery halts. For a breath, everything is still. The screen fades to black. Then, in eerie slow motion, a single drop of oil falls. It hits the ground. The sound is deafening. From that single drop, the camera zooms out to reveal an entire pool of oil spreading wider and wider until it swallows the dirt. The maps, the contracts, the very ground itself. The voice returns, sharper, more direct. Some fight for land. Others fight for survival. But when family stands in the way of fortune, betrayal becomes the only path forward. The montage erupts again, a safe door swinging open, stacks of cash revealed in the dim light. A silhouette walking away while another collapses to their knees in the background. A rifle leaning against a fence post in the pouring rain. An oil derrick collapsing in flames, fire lighting the night sky. The music peaks, percussion pounding, strings screaming, then suddenly cuts to silence again. The screen fades into a single image, two hands locking in a handshake. But as the camera zooms in, one hand grips harder, knuckles white, until the other hand is crushed beneath it. The voice concludes this section. Cold and unflinching, in this land deals are written in ink and sealed in blood. Fade to black. Asterisk. The screen opens with silence, nothing but the faint hiss of wind. Then, slowly, a single sheet of paper drifts down onto a wooden floor. The camera lingers. It's a contract, edges torn, stained with oil. A flame creeps into frame, catching the corner of the paper, spreading fast. The ink burns away until only black ash remains. The voice breaks the silence. Heavy and steady. Every barrel comes with a price. Every deal comes with blood. The screen shifts. Slow motion images flicker one after another, a shotgun shell sliding into place, a rusted padlock snapping shut, a briefcase chained to a wrist. The soundscape builds, metal grinding, engines roaring, the pulse of a heart beating faster and faster. The visuals grow darker. A storm cloud rolls across the horizon. Above, endless oil rigs, casting shadows that stretch for miles. Lightning flashes, illuminating the land in harsh bursts. In the distance, fire erupts from a derrick, flames clawing at the night sky. The camera zooms in on the flames until they fill the screen, burning white-hot. The voice sharpens. This is not just oil. This is survival. This is power. This is war. The montage accelerates. Quick cuts fill the screen, a set of scales tipping as money piles onto one side. A black briefcase opening, revealing stacks of bills bound tight. A shotgun leaning against a wall, its barrel gleaming. A hand gripping a rosary, trembling, as if begging for forgiveness. The music pounds harder, percussion like thunder, strings rising like screams. Each note builds pressure, pushing the story forward. The visuals grow harsher. A lone pickup truck speeds down a muddy road, headlights slicing through the night. The wheels spin, mud spraying high, leaving deep scars in the earth. A shadowed figure tosses a folder out the window, papers scattering into the storm. The camera follows one page as it flutters through the rain, until it lands in the dirt and dissolves into black mud. The voice continues, colder. Some chase fortune, some chase justice. But here, everyone risks everything. The tension thickens. The montage returns to faceless imagery, hands gripping steering wheels too tight, veins bulging, chains rattling as gates lock shut. A row of oil barrels stacked like dominoes, one tipping, then crashing down, starting a chain reaction. A storm ripping through a field, lightning striking dangerously close to an oil pump. The camera slows. A single drop of oil rises up in extreme. Close-up, spinning in midair, before crashing into a pool already stained deep black. The ripples spread outward, distorting reflections of guns, money, and burning flames. The voice darkens. In this game, the stakes are not measured in dollars, but in lives. Suddenly, silence hits again, the music cuts. Only the sound of a clock ticking remains. The screen shows a close-up of a pocket watch swinging, ticking louder, faster. The camera zooms in until the face of the watch fills the screen, then cracks, shattering into pieces. The montage explodes again, explosions rocking oil fields. Trucks overturned in floods of black liquid. A gun fired in slow motion, the bullet spinning through the air. A silhouette falling to the ground, oil and rain splashing around them. The music surges into chaos. The screen flickers rapidly between images, barrels bursting, papers burning, flames rising higher. The intensity peaks until the screen suddenly cuts to black. The voice delivers the final blow of this section. Every choice digs the grave deeper. And once you strike the earth, there is no turning back. The last image appears, an oil rig silhouetted against a blazing fire, standing tall but trembling under the weight of the storm. The sound of a hammer striking metal echoes one final time before silence swallows the screen. Fade to black. The screen opens to pitch black. Silence. Only the faint creak of metal groaning in the distance. Slowly, a dim light begins to glow, revealing the silhouette of an oil rig standing alone in the darkness. Its machinery groans, struggling against unseen pressure. The camera drifts closer. Each metallic thud echoes like a drumbeat, slow and deliberate. As if counting down to something inevitable, a deep voice cuts through the silence. The ground remembers everything. Every secret, every drop of blood, every broken promise. Suddenly, the screen flickers with sharp images. A contract half burned, flames licking at the last line of ink. A glass shattering on the floor, whiskey spilling across the dirt. Shadowy hand gripping a shovel, slamming it into the ground. The voice continues, colder now. You can bury the truth. You can bury the past, but nothing stays buried forever. The soundscape grows heavier. A storm begins to build low, thunder rolling, wind shrieking across the barren land. The oil rig pumps faster now, its rhythm louder, almost frantic. Lightning splits the sky, illuminating an oil field stretching endlessly into the night. The shadows of machinery twist like monsters across the landscape. The camera cuts to a close-up, a barrel of oil leaking, black liquid dripping into the mud, forming the shape of spreading cracks. Each drop echoes like gunfire. The music swells with strings that climb higher and higher, pulling the audience to the edge. The voice sharpens. The oil returns. And with it, the war begins again. The montage explodes into motion. Fast, violent flashes fill the screen, barrels toppling over in a chain reaction. Silhouettes running through the rain, shadows cast long and distorted. A safe door blown. Open stacks of money torn and flying in the storm. Flames erupting across a pipeline. Sparks raining like stars into the night. The percussion pounds like a heartbeat, each strike harder, faster. The chaos builds until it seems unbearable. Then, suddenly, silence again. The screen fades to black. A single word appears, glowing in white letters. Landman. The camera zooms slowly into the title. The letters seem to shake, as if they carry the weight of the earth itself. Behind them, faint images flicker. Fire, contracts, silhouettes like ghosts trapped inside the word. The voice lowers, deep and final. Landman. Season 2? The music returns, slow and heavy like a funeral march. The screen flashes the final visuals in slow motion, a drop of oil falling onto fire, igniting in an instant. A briefcase snapping shut, chains locking it tight. Two hands gripping each other in a handshake, but one pulls back, leaving blood smeared across the other's palm. The final line of voiceover cuts in, sharp and unflinching. The oil drama returns. November 16th, only on Paramount Plus. At that moment, the music surges into one last, crushing note. The oil rig hammer strikes down one final time clang. The sound reverberates into silence. The screen goes black. A single logo appears. Paramount Plus glowing against the darkness. Fade out.